the HOL show. We are right now watching presidential debate live. I am your host, Machine Gun T, with my co-host, Ganja. So thank you for checking in with us.
Does yours keep cutting in on you?
Is it cutting out on you on the TV?
It's just for a second every time.
They don't want people watching online.
Don't worry about income coming in. Half of our people are living paycheck.
If I could listen to it just like, yeah, that's cool.
Do you hear it off my thing? That's fine for you? Alright then.
Jobs, 15 on the table. What is going to happen to
I'll
them?
play it like that for everybody else too. Like if people just come in, they just want to hear it.
Right now, to
You just
address
hear it.
At least I could just watch it. Like, I'm cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
As a result, keep talking about Ebola. You got Ebola in my head here right now. As a result of the virus here, the coronavirus, what we have got to do also is understand the fragility of the economy and how unjust and unfair it is
I'll just put my
that
mic
so
down.
few have so much and so many have so much. People are looking for results, not a revolution. You want to deal with the results they need right now.
People looking for results, not revolution.
By making sure that we
Unless we just both listen to it, dude. Because this shit's
Yeah, we
fucking
both just
up real
listen to
bad
it.
on my shit.
Alright, we both just listen to it. That's fine. I don't have to have it on.
in terms of the healthcare costs that they have related to this crisis, we can make them whole now and put in process a system whereby they
So they decided to actually have them stand up instead of just sitting down. I'm surprised.
about income equality. That's real. That's real. But that does not affect the need for us to act swiftly and very thoroughly and in concert with all the forces that we need to bring to bear to deal with the crisis now, so no one's thrown out of their home, no one loses their mortgage, no one is kicked out, no one loses their paycheck, no one is in a position where they have significant financial disability as a consequence of this SARS, of this particular crisis.
Vice President, Senator Sanders.
Well, I think it goes without saying that as a nation,
Bernie's
we have
wearing
to respond
glasses?
as forcefully
Oh shit.
as we can to the current crisis.
Why is he wearing glasses?
Not good enough not to be understanding how we got here and where we want to go into the future. So how does it happen that today, in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, half of our people are scared to death? Good. I agree. In fact, that was my idea originally, to make sure that every person in this country
Yeah,
is
they're
made
sounding better for Biden right now, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
This crisis is going to end.
Because he usually sounds like he don't know where the fuck he is, but he sounded pretty straight right there.
I don't disagree with that. You were asking about the crisis. What are we going to do about the crisis now, which is incredibly consequential to millions and millions of Americans? And it's not going to be solved by a change in tax policy now. It's not going to be solved by a change in how we deal with health care. It's got to be solved with an emergency need right now. Right now.
If I was Bernie, I would have been like,
First thing we do is make sure
yeah, if we
that
weren't so
healthcare
busy
is available
on
by us
war
having the
24 fucking
tools to be able to deal
7,
with it.
we
That requires
focus on
us
other
to go out
shit to
and do
where
much more than this president's done in
this
terms of
epidemic
planning.
won't be as bad as
Secondly,
it
it
is.
requires us to be in a position where we're anticipating what will happen in the next month or weeks in terms of the flow.
But he's saying it should be universal health care because that will make it better. But, you know, you need to make that point clear.
More equipment to save the first responders as well. In addition to that, we then have to also look at what are the immediate needs right today. How about that person who's been laid off today? How about that person who doesn't have an income today? They have to know that tomorrow, when the paycheck comes due, you will get that paycheck. And thirdly, we have to think long term about how we deal with making all those who have been badly damaged right again. And then we move on. Then we move on to change the economy in ways that are more profoundly necessary than people think, but do not respond to the immediate needs we have now.
I was about to ask where my phone was.
Thank you, Vice President. Senator Sanders, you voted against bailouts following the 2008 financial crisis. Many believe those spending bills were a crucial part of stabilizing the economy back then. Would you support bailouts for industries that are being crushed by the coronavirus outbreak now?
I did. You're quite right. I voted against the bailout because
Which bailout you vote against? You vote against the Wall Street bailout, nigga.
people on
The
Wall Street
difference.
should not be rewarded by a
Right.
bailout. Today, by the way, those banks
My shit
are
just
more
froze up.
prosperous,
This shit sucks.
more assets
Back in.
by and
Yeah,
large
just listen
than
to
they
it.
did back
Yeah.
then.
I'm gonna send you messages on from the Xbox too.
That in the midst of massive income
What
and
did
wealth
this thing
inequality, the people on top, the tax on the very wealthy, should bail out. And it's not just a TARP bailout. We gave trillions of dollars in zero interest loans to large banks. But to answer your question, where we are right now, we need to stabilize the economy. But we can't repeat what we did in 2008. You voted for that. I voted against it. Because we have got to do more than save the banks or the oil companies. Our job right now is to tell every working person in this country, no matter what your income is, you are not going to suffer as a result of this crisis of which you had no control. Had those banks all gone under, all those people Bernie says he cares about would be in deep trouble.
Hey, what's up? Thank you for coming on the podcast. Welcome to the HOL show. We just decided to fuck around and watch the presidential debate, make fun of these niggas. So thanks for stopping by. All right.
Saving an economy, and it did
What's up,
save the
everybody?
economy, and the banks paid back.
What's up, Rhino? Rhino coming in.
Yeah.
That was the big disagreement I had in terms of bailing out.
What's up,
But
Rhino?
the question was,
Stupid
they
Ronnie.
paid back. In addition to that,
So
it also
Joe Biden was saying he had a big disagreement with the bailout because people didn't go to jail.
tens of thousands
If
of
only he
jobs.
was like vice president or
You voted
something
against
during that
that?
time.
No. I did not vote against that. That bailout money
That's what
was
I'm
used
saying.
later on by
Bernie's
Bush
getting his ass kicked right now.
to
Yeah, he
protect the
is. I'm not
automobile
gonna
industry.
lie.
But here's the point.
He should have mentioned that. Like, weren't you the vice president at that time? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That bailout. There are ways that you can bail out when you have a handful of people.
Why aren't you attacking Joe Biden? Like, we're still arguing about this bailout. I don't like, you were the vice president and you're having disagreements to how shit was done. You was a VP, motherfucker.
This is the Secretary of Treasury. You want to bail out? That's fine. You have your friends pay for it, not working people. The other point is Joe should know, it wasn't just the program. The Fed gave trillions and trillions of dollars.
I know. We all know the story.
Interest loans to every financial institution in this country and central banks all over the world. That was essentially a grant because they then could sell that. They could then bring in
Joe
interest
Biden looks pretty
much
fucking
greater
sleepy
than the
right
zero
now,
interest loans
to be
that they
honest.
got.
Vice President Biden.
Look, the fact of the matter is that if in fact the banks had all been gone under, we would be in a Great Depression. We would have not. How do you get out of that? Now, Bernie's saying that I guess he's going to do a wealth tax or something, that the top 1% could pay for everything, and they should pay for everything that occurred. We were talking about tens and hundreds of billions of dollars. That's what this was
So you
about.
give them the hundreds of billions of dollars?
It saved the economy from going into a depression. After we passed the Recovery Act, which I was the one who went out and got the 3 votes to get it changed, that had $900 billion in it, and was the thing that kept
Bernie could easily smack Biden right here because
Many of the 11 million undocumented immigrants and now even many legal
no,
immigrants
but
in the United States are afraid.
but Bernie could easily smack Biden right here because
They feel safe
he could have
enough.
been like, okay, you saved the economy, but you didn't put any laws to prevent this from happening again. You just like you gave him a paycheck and then a pass. That's the problem. But I don't know. He could have knocked his ass out right there. But
Any
okay.
woman who crosses the border or is here and being beaten by her husband, but she's an undocumented.
Yeah, you saw his face. It looked like he wanted to say something else, but
There are certain things
I don't know.
you cannot report an undocumented alien for, an undocumented person for. And that would be one of them. We want that. It's in the interest of everyone. And those folks who are the xenophobic folks out there, it's even in their interest that that woman come forward or that man come forward because it deals with keeping the spread from moving more rapidly. They will not, should not, under any circumstances.
So wait, she mentioned immigrants. Bernie would be a dickhead if he didn't mention that. Obama deported 3 million immigrants.
Because the proposal for Medicare for all that I introduced includes making sure that undocumented people are also covered. And right now we have the absurd situation We're undocumented people who try to do the right thing. They want to go to the doctor. They don't want to spread this disease. I'm standing and thinking about whether ICE is going to deport them. So one of the things that we have to do is to make sure that everybody feels comfortable getting the health care that they need. That should be a general.
This is where he's fucking up right now.
Yeah, he is. I would have been like, well, you know, me, I always want Medicare for all before this problem happened.
And thirdly, to answer your question,
And that's why I would put in as president, or you know. But he just blah blah, you know.
For those
I don't
11
think it
million
did too. He already
documented.
lost.
On day one as president, I would restore the legal status of the 1.8 million.
Senator, thank you. We're going to talk about immigration
See how
in
they
a
cut
minute,
him
but
off?
first I want to ask about something that's going on right now. Again, back to this crisis. We know that people over the age of 60 and those with underlying medical conditions, especially heart disease, lung disease, and diabetes, are the most vulnerable to coronavirus and are being asked to change their behavior to protect themselves. So, Senator Sanders, I'll start with you. You're 78 years old. You had a heart attack. What are you doing to protect yourself?
Okay.
Well, a great deal. Last night,
He's
Right.
years old.
fireside.
Yeah.
We love doing rallies, and we bring many.
Biden is 76. Trump is like 73 or 4, I believe. They're all old as shit.
Our entire staff is working from home. So on a personal,
I've been with saying Bernie should, before he even ran again, I said you probably should get somebody that's like younger.
And I am very careful
And
about
just,
people.
yeah, exactly.
I'm using a lot of soap and hand sanitizers to make sure that I do not get the.
Are they going to ask Joe Biden the same fucking question?
I have to say, thank God right now.
And why did he keep mentioning he had a heart attack? Like, okay, like,
grateful for that.
it happened.
Vice President Biden, you're 77. What are you doing to protect yourself?
Well,
All right, well, thank you.
I don't have any of the underlying.
And he had to do brain surgery.
Worry about. Number one. Number two, thank God for the time being.
He did have to do brain surgery though. Like, I mean,
that I'm in good health. Number three, I'm taking all the precautions anyone would take, whether they're 30 years old or 60 years old or 80 years old. And that is, I want to make sure that I do not shake hands any longer. I do not engage. We did the same thing. Our staff is all working from home. We are not doing rallies any longer. We're doing virtual rallies. We're doing virtual town hall meetings. We're in a situation where now I do not, as I said, when we encounter people, we're not going into crowds. And so I'm taking all the precautions everyone else
keep the peasants away.
I wash my hands God knows how many times a day with hot water and soap. I carry with me, as a matter of fact, I have in my bag outside here, a hand sanitizer. I don't know how many times a day I
so
use that.
touch babies.
I make sure I don't touch my face and so on.
Wipe away
so
the
I'm
evidence
taking all
when I
the
touch them
precautions
babies.
we're told everybody else to take.
Let's turn to the race more broadly now. Throughout this campaign, you've each laid out starkly different visions for how to bring about change. Vice President Biden, Senator Sanders is calling for a political revolution. You said people want results, not a revolution. Make the case for why a revolution is not what the country needs or wants.
We have problems we have to solve now. Now, what's a revolution?
They're trying to stop what we want.
Right.
The senator talks about his Medicare for all. He still hasn't told you.
Hey, what's up, Tommy? Welcome to the HOL show. We're reacting to the presidential debate right now between Bernie and Biden. Leave a comment if you got a topic, or sit back, relax, enjoy it with us. All right. Thanks for coming in.
Restores all the cuts made to it, subsidizes
yeah, this is my name is Machine Gun T. That's the Ganja. Thanks for stopping by and chilling.
Consequence,
Hell
diabetes,
yeah, man.
cancer.
Get up,
Make sure
relax,
that
smoke
we
a
have
bowl,
Medicare
drink a beer, get it
in
done.
a public option providing Medicare for us. We can do that now. I can get that passed. I can get that done.
I can get that passed. I can get that done.
That would be a fundamental.
Well, Bernie better say you were the VP for 8 years. Why didn't you do that shit before? Like, come on now.
We gone through. What people want is hope. And
let me on that debate stage.
4 years from now, and Bernie still hasn't told us how he's going to pay for it. We're talking about a $30+ trillion plan. Not quite true. Senator Sanders, look, let's do something that is very rarely done in the Congress. Let's do something that the media doesn't do. Let's talk about the reality of American life. Why is it that over the last 45 years, despite the huge increase in activity, and technology, the average worker today is not making a nickel more in real dollars. Why is it that over the last 30 years,
Okay.
the richest 1%,
There he goes.
$1 trillion increase in their wealth, bottom half of America, $900 billion decline in their wealth? Why is it that we are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a human right? Why are we the only major country not to have paid medical and family leave? Why do we give tax breaks to billionaires when half a million people are homeless today? And it comes down to something, Jake, we don't talk about. The power structure in America. Who has the power? And I'll tell you who has the power. It's the people who contribute money, the billionaires who contribute money to political
He's
campaigns.
got it right here.
Control the legislative agenda. Those people have the power. And if you want to make real changes in this country, if you want to create for all, not just a few, if you want to guarantee quality health care to all, not make $100 billion in profit for the healthcare industry, you know what you need? You need to take on Wall Street. You need to take on the drug companies and the insurance companies
Goes,
and the fuel industry. You don't take campaign contributions from them. You take them on and create an economy.
He might get assassinated right here.
Do what I proposed over 30 years ago. Federally funded elections. No
Everything right there, dude.
contributions in the election process.
He needs to mention Joe Biden. Like, Joe Biden represents the drug companies, Wall Street. I don't. That would have killed it. That would have killed it if he had said Joe Biden's name. Like, Joe represents the corruption. Then he would have now like, all right, he killed it. You know, because Joe could just pretend, oh, I'm not with those Wall Street people. What are you talking about? When he is, it's obvious.
Funded by millionaires. Bernie, look, in the last Super Tuesday and before that, Bernie outspent me 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 1. And I still won. I didn't have any money. And I still won.
That's bullshit.
Senator Sanders?
Look at that.
It's good that you had an idea 30 years ago. I don't want to join you. Why don't you join me?
Right.
Why don't you get rid of the super PAC that you have right now?
Thank you.
Which is running very ugly negative ads about me.
Thank you.
That's just the truth. And they got 2 other super PACs running ads against us. What should you say right now? Go on television and say, hey, you know what? I think in the past, Joe, if I'm not mistaken, you condemned.
He wants it so bad for the New World Order. He can't get
the
it.
9 super PACs you have? I don't have 9 super. I don't have any super PACs. You want me to list them? No, yeah, you go ahead and list them. Come on, give me a break. No, I will.
He didn't even list them.
Real shit.
This is the point. In the richest country in the history of the world, half of our people should not be struggling to put food on the table. And the reason for that is you have a political structure in which big money interests not only dominate the political system, but dominate our economy as well. Somebody makes a decision, we're going to shut down a factory in America, we're going to move to China, we're going to move to Mexico, pay people starvation wages there.
Look at him, he's mad, he's upset right now.
That has got to be ultimately dealt with.
Look at him, he's confused.
But we content with so few exercising so much power.
I bet you he still wins, T. If he wins this, T, are you ready for what I'm talking about?
I hear you.
Number 1.
Hey, you know
It's getting to that. It's getting to that point. It's getting to that
you
point.
feel me? You feel
I
me
feel
now?
you. I feel you. I feel you.
You feel
I can
he's
It's getting
doing
there.
your boy right now?
by changing the way in which we deal with
I
capital
know.
gains. People should pay capital gains based on their income.
I don't fuck with this right
And
now.
not at 20%. That would raise $800
What
million
income
to
tax
pay
you
for
what
my
is Joe even
entire
talking about right
medical
now?
health care plan, which would cover everyone. The fact of the matter is,
He's thinking
everything
about
I
taking
go
away
for, I
from Social Security.
and I do not believe, and I supported these exorbitant tax cuts for the wealthy. I strongly opposed the tax cut that this president has put through of $1,900,000,000,000. And I said at the time, this is all about trying to eliminate the safety net. Look, the idea that Bernie implies the way he says things, speaking of negative ads, my Lord, Bernie, you're running ads saying I'm opposed to Social Security. The PolitiFact says is a flat lie, and that the Washington Post said is a flat lie. Oh, well, let me ask you.
Yeah, the news agencies you paid off that are on your side,
Exactly.
but you can't lie about video that says you said that.
Talking about the necessity with pride about cutting Social Security, cutting Medicare, cutting veterans programs. No. You never said that. No. All right. America, go to the website right now. Go to the YouTube right now. Time after time, you were not a fan of Ole Simpson? I was not a fan of. You were not a fan of the balanced budget amendment, which called for cuts in Social Security.
That's because YouTube's the only place you can
Come on,
get
Joe,
non-biased information.
You're an honest guy. Why don't you just tell the truth here? We all make mistakes. I am telling the truth. You said
He's
that
looking bad right now. Fire.
He is. He's getting raped.
By the Social Security Organization. Why am I viewed as a strong? All that I said. I have laid out how I will increase Social Security. Well, that's good. I laid that out. I have laid out how I'm going to make sure that it is in fact paid for. Jake, go to JoeBiden.com. Look at my.
Go to my website where I lie.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay,
come on, man.
What's
Anybody
going
with
on?
half a brain cell could see who's really going good right now.
Be straight with the American people. I am saying
This shit is
that
crazy.
What's going on, Hawk? Welcome to the HOL show.
Time again, talking about the
What's
need
going on,
to
man?
cut Social Security, Medicare, and veterans programs.
Where's everybody watching us from, by the way? Let me
Biden's
get
cutting
to
fucking veterans funds, bro?
Yeah, he said he wants to cut that. He did. There's a video of him saying
Everything
that.
was on the table.
What
I did
the
not
hell?
support any of those cuts in Social Security or in
This
veterans.
video.
Even 3 years ago, I think 2015 was the last time he said that. Right away, like he said, I would cut veterans benefits.
Cuts the Social Security and veterans. In order to get the kinds of changes we need on
He's
other
stuck.
things related. Joe, but we did not cut it. I know, because people like
He's
me helped
dead,
stop
dude.
us. But Joe, you just contradicted yourself. 1 minute,
He did.
excuse me. 1 minute you said I was not on the floor. The next minute you say, well, yes, there was a reason why I was worried about the deficit.
He did say that.
Good reason, maybe it's not. All that I am saying is you were prepared to cut and advocated for the cuts of programs. I did not. I never cut Social Security. Not talking about voting. That's not what I said.
He just did it.
I voted. I was the look at the debate with Ryan for the vice presidency.
Dude, this is live right now and everything.
Right.
Come on.
Will you acknowledge your campaign took out context that whole exchange between Paul and Ryan? Are you saying PolitiFact is wrong? Are you saying believe me, the Washington Post PolitiFact is wrong a whole lot of times. But are they wrong on that, Bernie? Okay. Are they wrong on that, Bernie? Bernie, did you miss? Wait a minute. I'll answer your question. You answer mine. I answered yours. No, you didn't. All right. One more time.
He didn't. He still didn't.
Whatever reason, talking about the need to cut Social Security and Medicare and veterans programs. No, I did not talk about the need to cut any of those programs. Okay, all that I would say to the American people, go to YouTube. It's all over the place. Joe said it many, many times. I'm surprised. You can defend that or change your mind on it, but you can't deny the reality.
So, Senator, because you brought up Social Security and you've been
That was
talking
good.
about it, I want to ask you about something that you wrote in 1996.
Here we go.
The House. And you wrote an op-ed that said, quote, "It is clear we will have to make incremental adjustments benefits."
Yeah.
Why are your past comments any less relevant than
incremental adjustments? Adjustments that I advocated and have advocated for years is, among other things, increasing the cost of living assistance. No, you're not going to find me ever calling for cuts to Social Security. Right now, for example, we determine COLAs by looking at inflation for the general population rather than segregating the higher costs that seniors are paying for prescription drugs and for health care. That's what I was talking about. I have, in fact, when Joe and others were enamored with the so-called bold Simpson effort, which included cuts to Social Security or raising the retirement age, I formed, along with people like Barbara Boxer, the Defending Social Security caucus to say no. When 20% of our seniors are trying to get by on $13,000 a year or more, we are not going to cut Social Security.
Vice President Biden, yesterday you endorsed an Elizabeth Warren plan that would undo 14 years of the law you helped pass in 2005.
Oh.
A few hours ago, you announced support for making college tuition free.
Oh, if you want to text me anything, text it to me on Xbox.
$1,000 a year. Something Senator Sanders has supported. What changed?
Two things.
That's
Number
funny.
one, let's talk about the bankruptcy. The bankruptcy bill was passing overwhelmingly, and I improved it. I had a choice. It was going to pass, a Republican president, Republican Congress, and I offered 2 amendments to make sure that people under $50,000 would not be affected, and women and children would go to the front of the line on alimony and support payments. That's what I did. It passed overwhelmingly. I did not like the rest of the bill, but I improved it, number one. Number two, I've talked with Senator Warren about her proposal. This is the first opportunity we've had to make substantial change in what we couldn't get done in a Republican administration. That's why we talked the 2 nights. I supported her proposal, and it's a good proposal. It's a solid proposal, and she should get credit for having introduced it. With regard to what we're talking about in terms of college education, I've been saying for a long time that we're in a position where 12 years of education is not enough. Is not enough.
Weren't you the vice president 4 years ago?
16 years of education. The exact bill that Senator Sanders introduced, I guess a little over a year ago, capping it off at $125,000 in income. You could get free up to that point. After that, you'd have to pay for your college education. It only worked for public schools, and it would work for public universities in your state. I support that idea. It was a good idea, and I support it. And so that's what it is. And I'm not saying everything Bernie said has been wrong. He happens to be right on that one.
Senator Sanders, I just welcome these changes.
This is a little bit about leadership as well. Joe talked about bankruptcy. Joe, if my memory is correct, you helped write that bankruptcy bill.
I did not.
All right.
Did she just say he helped write it?
She did. She did.
Some of them really short-lived. And that bankruptcy bill made it impossible, very difficult for people to escape from that.
This is why young people got like high debt in college, because he passed the bankruptcy bill.
You're right. Overwhelming majority.
Now you can't file for bankruptcy on your student loans because of Biden.
And I don't have to rethink my position, because that's what leadership is about, having the guts to take an unpopular vote. But it's not just bankruptcy. The difference between Joe and I on higher education is 4 years ago. It was not a popular idea, Joe. I'm glad you're coming around now. 4 years ago, public colleges and universities should be tuition free. People were saying, Bernie, that's a radical idea. Well, you got states and cities and counties all over the country that are moving in that direction. And I'm glad that Joe is on board. But what leadership is about is going forward. Not popular. When it's an idea that you get criticized for.
He's bringing some heat.
That's
fact. And I'm proud of my leadership on
he did.
Moving forward.
The campaign,
there you go.
I talked about raising that minimum wage $15 an hour 4 years ago.
$15
an hour?
$15 an hour.
$15 an hour, motherfucker.
I will talk to the guy. I'm not aware of that. Right. I am not aware of that.
You should be aware. Look,
all right. 4 years ago, it was a radical.
Bernie should keep saying, weren't you the vice fucking president for 4 years? And now you're talking about minimum wage? The minimum wage was $7.25
He was
under
Obama's
Bush.
vice president, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Dude, Obama was corrupt as hell, bro. He helped a lot, but he fucking was corrupt as shit.
I agree. I'm not going to deny it.
Fuck yeah.
Joe Biden is even more corrupt than his son getting favors and shit. Like, come on now, dog. Come on.
No shit.
Now we're in a position where we're able to correct that problem. The fact is, if I hadn't stepped up and changed the law as a relation
now Biden's like, I always talk about $15 minimum wage. The minimum wage was $7.25 under Bush, and it still is $7.20. So what the fuck is he talking about?
This shit's so late now. Come on, man. Every other country.
It's corny. Fucking $7.25.
I make above minimum wage, by the way. I make good money. It's just still a simple fact. I just
we both do.
I can't even live out.
Niggas can't be getting paid $7.25. When minimum wage go up, everybody wage will go up.
Senator Sanders.
This is kind of circular logic. We're going to reform the bill that I voted for. Well, if you hadn't voted for it,
right.
if you had rallied other people, as I try to do in the House, voting against it, we might not have the problems with it we have today. You know what leadership is about, Joe, and it deals with, your opposition or your support.
Bernie should mention he ran for president like 3 times.
Legislation
regarding gay communities and the so-called Defense of Marriage Act.
Oh no.
You remember that bill, right?
Oh no,
You remember the Defense of Marriage Act? It was, gay marriage today is considered a little bit differently than it was 25 years ago. I remember a very hard vote. I voted against the Defense of Marriage Act. You voted for it. I voted against the bankruptcy bill. You voted for it. I voted against the war in Iraq, which was also a tough vote. You voted for it. I voted against disastrous trade agreements like NAFTA and PNTR with China, which cost this country over 4 million good-paying jobs. You voted for it. I voted against the Hyde Amendment, which denies low-income women the right to get an abortion.
Yeah, if you don't win, T, there's something
I know.
bro.
I know. I know.
In other words, all that I'm saying, we can
Bill's looking
argue
like a
about
dick
killing
right
it.
now. He's killing him right now.
He's killing him.
Killing him.
He's fucking destroying him.
This man voted against the Brady bill 5 times.
Here we
Background
go.
checks. Background checks.
This for
5
guns.
times.
This for
Number
guns.
one. Number 2, this man is the only one of the few
Man,
Democrats
he's
I
taking
know
away guns.
voted to exempt.
No, I was saying Bernie, he voted against the Brady bill, which would have made background checks for guns. So Bernie voted against that, so Biden's getting on him about that.
Tobacco companies cannot sue the gun manufacturers because he voted for that years ago. He says it was a mistake now. I'm prepared to accept he says it's a mistake. Well, your question is, what do we do from this point on? And by the way, I might add, I'm the first person to go on national television in any administration and say I supported gay marriage.
Whatever.
I supported gay marriage when
This is
asked.
nonsense.
And it started a ripple effect. I'm not taking all credit for it, but I'm the first major player to say I support gay marriage on
That's
national
bullshit.
television.
On 2008, he said on TV, I don't support gay
Leaders, you can
marriage.
argue, this or that bill. But what I'm suggesting is that in this time of crisis, when we're living in a really, really unsettling world, economically, from a healthcare perspective with the coronavirus, the people of America know my record, okay? For 30 years, I have stood with the working families of this country. I have taken on every special interest there is out there, and that is what I will do in the White House. That's a very different record than yours. That is not a different record than mine. That is a totally different record than yours. All right. I mean, and it's manifested in this campaign when you're, getting all this money from, wealthy people and billionaires. So I think if you want somebody who will take to the White House what I've done for my whole life. Thank you, Senator Sanders. And that is take on special. I think I'm that candidate. Average campaign $144.
Let's talk about the future, Vice President Biden. If you become the Democratic presidential nominee, how will you appeal to supporters of Senator Sanders when you do disagree on so many issues?
He's making it hard for me right now. I was trying to give him credit for some things. He won't even take credit.
Yeah.
Look,
Sound like an asshole.
I want to make it clear. If Bernie's the nominee, I will not support him. I will campaign for him. And I believe the people who support me will do the same thing. Because the existential threat to the United States of America is Donald Trump. It's critical. I would hope that Bernie would do the same thing if I'm the nominee and encourage all of his followers to, in fact, support me as well. Because it's much bigger than either of us. The character of the nation is on the ballot. It goes well beyond whether or not Senator Sanders and I both agree we need health care should be a right.
Healthcare should be a right.
We both agree we have to deal with education, access to education. We both agree that we deal with.
He didn't want to say Medicare for all. That's the policy. He doesn't believe in that policy.
We don't disagree on the principle. We fundamentally disagree with this president on everything. This is a man who wants to cut Social Security, Medicare, not Bernie, the president of the United States. So this is much bigger than whether or not I'm the nominee or Bernie's the nominee. We must defeat Donald Trump. He is the excellent 4 more years
Well,
ago.
Look at him. He's
fundamentally changed the nature of who we are as a nation.
Don't pick Bernie, pick me just because of Trump.
That's essential. And as long as this president is there, we're not going to be able to do
Senator Sanders,
Can I just say a word, then I'll respond to you?
Well, it's just a quick question, which is, if he is the nominee, Vice President Biden, you've already said
sometime in April for us.
Will you campaign for him? Will you urge your supporters to?
I might have to do it this time.
What I said is this country cannot
I'll help you out. So, let me see.
A president who is a pathological liar, who's running a corrupt administration, who obviously doesn't know the Constitution of the United States, who believes is above the law, who is a racist and a sexist and a homophobe. He is the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country. And what I said on day one. And obviously, I hope to win the nomination. But if I don't win the nomination, and I think every other Democratic candidate is prepared to come together to do everything humanly possible.
Like they came together behind Joe Biden on
Let me
Super
respond
Tuesday.
to something that Joe said. We talked about the Green New Deal and all of these things in general terms, but details make a difference. What I have said throughout this campaign, and I don't think I've heard you say this yet, Joe, is that if we are going to save this planet for our kids and future generations, we need to have the courage to take on the greed of the fossil fuel industry and make it clear that their short-term profits are not more important than the future of this planet. And we have a very detailed plan, a detailed proposal. Happy to get the endorsement of the Sunrise Movement, the young people.
We're going to get into the Green New Deal. Okay. We're going to talk about climate change. We have to squeeze in a quick break.
Okay.
When we come back, CNN Univision's Democratic presidential debate.
What the hell? Why are they always cutting them the fuck off, bro?
I know.
That's bullshit. Yo, if you can't see who's the better candidate, and I'm not even a Democrat, or I'm like a fucking conservative. I like my guns and shit. But like, what the fuck? I'm like a normie. You can see what's right and wrong, though. That's the thing.
Right.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I agree. It was good. I like that Bernie actually attacked Joe Biden's bitch ass.
Yo, Bernie went down with it, bro. He was like, fuck it, I might as well get down with the sickness.
Come on, get down with the sickness.
Yeah, I'm about to take a quick break.
You're gonna take a break,
bro.
Yeah, you take a break. I'll just have the music playing.
Hell yeah.
Alright, we're on break. Welcome to the HOL show. We'll be back with your hosts, Machine Gun T and E Ganja. Be right back. Hey, what's up going on, Bob? Mon Tangy? We're in the middle of watching the U.S. presidential debate, and we're on break right now because they're on a commercial break. But yeah, stay tuned. I'm your host, Machine Gun T. My co-host, E Ganja. We'll be right back. But check out our content. Make sure you leave a follow for us. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, alright? What's going on, Bob? You're on the HOL show. What's happening?
Yeah, how you going, Machine Gun? I'm calling all the way from Australia.
From Australia, huh?
Yeah, I've been watching I've been watching the debate and man, Joe. What can I say?
Give us your honest opinion.
That if they're going to put that man up against Trump, he is going to be destroyed. Oh, just the look on Bernie's face. I haven't been listening to you guys, but yeah, I just tuned in on the break, and oh man, if they're going to put that guy up against Trump, we're doomed, fella. We are doomed.
That's what we keep trying to tell people in the states, man. We keep trying to say like, yo, Joe is. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
They're,
well,
they're cheating.
I
They
kind
just
of.
get him up there.
Well,
Seriously,
that
nobody
that
wants his ass.
I kind of keep I keep a very close eye on how things have been progressing, and I will acknowledge that I'm a Bernie fan, man. I'm a Bernie
I
fan,
appreciate that. Me too.
and
Trying to get some
I mean
change going on.
we've got an idiot in Scott Morrison here. You've probably seen his action during the bushfires.
Yeah, I did. I
Um,
did. A lot of Australians hate him.
the Brits have got Boris when they had a wonderful
Boris
opportunity
Johnson.
with Corbyn. And I was looking at Bernie as being the last hope of Western civilization, and then when he was
True.
the front runner, I had my fingers crossed, and then the whole establishment got behind this fucking idiot Joe Biden. It's
I
just so
know, man.
sad to watch,
No,
man.
it's sad. It's terrible. Like we're
Yo,
Yeah.
anyone could see that though, bro. For real.
Oh, really? It's like that over there, is it? Oh.
I'm glad that you do see it though, because some people are just so blind to the fact that it's like,
a lot of
Well,
blind.
I hate to say this, but it stands out like dog's balls, brother.
bro, thank you.
I
I
love it.
appreciate you. I appreciate you.
uh, anyway, I've got a day off work, so I'm tuning into the debate and smoking some big fat ones of some
There you go.
I love
outdoor
it.
Victorian hush, brother.
I love it. Fuck yeah, bro. I'll take a hit for you right now.
And where are you guys coming from?
We're in Pennsylvania, in America. Philly.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
When's Pennsylvania? You guys haven't already voted, have you?
April
Pennsylvania,
28th. April 28th, I
April
believe.
28th.
Yeah, so we didn't even get a fucking chance yet, and then Joe already.
Well, he was smiling and smirking about how he's fucking healthy after Bernie said he's got a bloody had his heart attack, and we all know about that.
Right.
Fucking look at his fake fucking teeth and head smirking like that. I hope he gets coronavirus and dies.
I know, right? Me too, man.
That sounds really
Nobody
cruel.
wants
That
that.
sounds really cruel. But if you want to check out a really good one, we've got this real fucking fascist prick as the head of our border force, and his name's Peter Dutton, and he's one that's responsible for our criminal fucking asylum seeker, putting them on islands and in cages. He's a real prick. Anyway, he caught the coronavirus whilst he was in Washington, and he's the reason Ivanka Trump's in lockdown. So I thought you guys might like to know that. We're all talking we want to send this prick to Christmas Island where he used to send the asylum seekers.
Yeah, you gotta send him to there, dude, so he'd be trapped there for a little while and see how.
Yeah. Just look him up, Peter Dutton, and have a look at his head. He just looks like an evil fascist prick. He would have had a big hard on in 30s fucking Berlin, man, I'm telling you.
Oh shit.
Like, there's always some big kids everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, where it's America, or like you said, Western civilization, man. Getting fucked right now.
Oh well, fingers crossed that bloody Biden explodes and Bernie sails through, man. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Honestly, a lot of people feel that way. Nobody wants this idiot, and we don't know what's going on. How these people even get elected.
Hey, dudes, when's it come back on? I really like you guys. I'm going to tune in on the
It's on
next
right
break.
now. It's on right now.
Is it? I'm sorry about leaving you, but I'm just hoping that Joe explodes.
No, you good?
And
You good?
I'll call you back from Melbourne, man.
That'd be
yeah,
great,
brother.
man. Thanks, Bob.
All right, good on you guys.
Good night,
Appreciate
brother.
you, man.
See you, fellas.
Peace, dog. Good luck in
Peace out,
Australia.
brother.
Yeah, peace, bro.
Hell yeah, dude.
Record of late.
Keep on smoking, fellas. Keep on smoking.
Fucking right.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
I've always believed that.
Senator, just to be clear,
That's fucking hilarious.
the vice president committed to picking a woman as his running mate. If you get the nomination, will you?
In all likelihood, I will. For me, it's not just nominating or a woman. It is making sure that we have a progressive women, and there are progressive women out there. So my very strong tendency is to
Yeah,
move in
that was fucking
Let's turn now
awesome.
to immigration.
That's why I love doing this shit live. You never know what you
Recently said,
expect.
for the
I
first
know,
time,
I fucking loved
the
it. It
Obama
was
Biden
awesome.
administration made a big mistake in deporting millions of immigrants, but you didn't publicly speak out against it at the time. What commitment will you make tonight? That
So
as
they
president,
get on Joe Biden for
won't
deporting
deport
3 million immigrants during Obama. Or whatever.
Number one,
I love how they don't mention that Biden told immigrants that he should vote for Trump because the immigrant was getting on him for the 3 million deportations. He said, "Well, why don't you vote for Trump
By
then?"
the way,
Yeah,
moving
right.
on.
And they did.
The fact
Right.
is that we already had a vote on the immigration bill, by the way, and Bernie voted against it, the immigration bill. Had he voted for it and it passed, we'd already have 6 million undocumented would be citizens as I speak right now. But I will
Well, I
send
wanna
it
hear
to
why
the
he
desk
voted against that.
immediately.
Probably
A
a good
bill that
reason.
requires access to citizenship for 11 million.
Bernie wanted to protect, like, he was against a lot of immigration. Like, honestly, he wanted to protect jobs.
No one.
He was like, keep all the jobs here. He said, I don't think we should have open borders.
The only deportations that will
Right.
take place
They
are
always
commissioned
act like he says that he isn't though.
So to be clear, only felons get deported and everyone else gets to stay.
Yes. Yes, and the reason is it's about uniting families. It's about making sure that we can both be a nation of immigrants as well as a nation that is decent. Let me respond. I'll answer your question. Let me respond to Joe's comments about 2007 immigration bill. That bill was opposed by LULAC, the largest Latino organization in America. The Southern Poverty Law Center called its guest programs akin to slavery. There wasn't really a vote on the bill.
See, that was just a bill just to get immigrant workers.
A vote on the Dorgan Amendment. I think it was 49-48. And you know who voted
wasn't-
with me on that one, Joe? Barack Obama. He understood that proposal was a bad idea. We don't need slavery in America where workers, guest workers are forced to stay with their employers. But in terms of immigration in general, let me outline some of the
Joe's
things that
looking like a dickhead right now.
Day one, we restored the legal status of 1.8 million young people and their parents in the DACA program. Number two, immediately, we end these terror over this country. Three, we change the border policy under my administration. No federal agent will ever grab little babies from the arms of their mothers.
That's an easy one.
And fourth,
That's an
I think we
easy
can
thing
pass
to dunk on.
what the American people want, and that is comprehensive immigration reform, passport citizenship for the 11 million undocumented.
Senator Sanders, could you
That's
suggest
people,
positions
though,
like this send a message that when a
There you
Democrat is in the White House, the
There's a
border
lot, though.
is open? Do they?
No,
Where they
that's just
go?
that's
Right
what Trump
on the
says.
couple
That is a
borderline
total
states.
What we're talking about
Yeah, that's
is
for most people.
main
They love million
sensible
immigrants.
policy supported by the American people. Nobody is talking about open
You got
borders.
319 million right now.
That. But the bottom line is, right now, you have in this country
Here.
people
Yeah.
who have been here for decades. They're working hard. They're raising their kids. They're an important part of our agricultural economy, our construction economy. These
Hey,
are
what's up, Robert? Welcome to the
and
HOL
yet they're
show.
living in terror.
What's up,
And
dude?
we've got to end that terror and end
Thank you
ICE
for
raids
tuning in and
and move
joining our
toward
commentary on the U.S.
citizenship.
presidential debate.
Let me set the record straight. As someone
Give us a follow, leave a
the
comment.
idea that it was
Thanks for
slavery.
joining.
Barack Obama supported that bill for that immigration. Teddy Kennedy supported.
So do I got? So we gotta look up. I wonder
support
who's lying
I doubt
about
whether
this.
those people think it's well. And by the way, right after
Yeah, Robert, let's go. I hear you, man.
that they're taking jobs, these immigrants are taking jobs from America. One of the Republican canards. Right after that vote, that no vote, And so, come on. You think Ted Kennedy is for slavery? You think I was for slavery? You think when you voted for it for slavery? Now, with regard to your question relative to whether or not I would deal with supporting the border. Look, we can deal with securing the border by national technical means. All the bad things are coming through ports of entry right now. We don't need a wall. And by the way, I would immediately, as president, surge to the border. I would end this notion for the first time in history that people seeking asylum have to be in squalor on the other side of the river and in a desperate situation. They should be able to come to the United States and
Are you
have a
done,
judgment
Joe?
made as whether or not they qualify. I would also surge the border immigration judges to make decisions immediately, and no one would be put in jail while hearing.
Senator Sanders?
That's kind of what I've been saying the entire campaign.
So
What we need is
Wasn't he the
at the
VP?
border,
This is why I keep saying like Joe was the
hundreds of
VP for 8
administrative
years.
judges. We need
So
to
you
deal
talking
with
about?
people who
Yeah,
are
you talking
seeking
about all this
asylum
you want to do?
based on
You
international
was the VP
law.
for 8 years. Like
We
you
need
should have.
not to be
Oh my god, I'm
dividing
not even.
children from their parents and dividing families up. We need a humane border policy. And I'll tell you what else. Speak as the son of an immigrant. My father came to this country from Poland at the age of 17.
TV is
Had
this
a
a
nickel in
TV
his
show?
pocket, couldn't speak English, didn't have
Yeah, this is nice.
didn't have much of an
I think this is
education.
very professional.
I will end on day one the demonization, the ugly demonization from the White House of the immigrant community in this country. We've got a president who is trying to divide us up. My administration brings our people together, black and white and Latino, Native American, Asian American.
Thank you, Senator Sanders. Vice President Biden, you opposed sanctuary cities as a presidential candidate in 2007.
Oh.
Where do you stand now?
Sanctuary cities are like New York and San
immigrants
Francisco.
arrested by local police be turned over to immigration officials?
No.
Senator Sanders?
That's it?
Look, and one of the
No.
things that goes on.
But this is what I mean. Like, so you was for something some years ago, and now you're against it when you run for president. Like, come on now. Like, people get tired of this shit, or people should anyway.
Mom and dad may not be there, may be deported. What we need to do is to end, and I will end this on day one, the ICE raids that have been so harmful to so many people. And we need to do, again, what the American people want us to do. I'm the son of an immigrant. This is a country significantly built by immigrant labor, built by slave labor. And what we have got to do is appreciate each other and end this demonization and divisiveness coming from the Trump administration.
Senator Sanders,
Go ahead.
Look, we are a nation of immigrants. Our future rests upon the Latino community being fully integrated. 24 out of every 100 children in school today, from kindergarten through high school, is a Latino. Right now, today. The idea that any American doesn't significantly invest in their future is absolutely a bizarre notion. Because if
what about investing in everybody's future?
Everything that the very wealthy are concerned about and the xenophobes are concerned about will in fact get worse, not better. We should be embracing,
like, not just the immigrants, but about everybody.
Just like what happened with the Irish immigrants after the famine, just what happened to the Italians, etc. We've been through this before. Xenophobia is a disease.
Thank you, Vice President Biden. Let's move now to the climate crisis. I'm coming right to you, Senator Sanders. The World Health Organization calls the climate crisis a, quote, health crisis, and warns that climate change could fuel the spread of infectious diseases. Can you point to specific measures in your climate plan that address that threat?
Well, of course we do. I mean, we look, this is what the scientists are telling us, the same scientists who make your point there, Jake. What they're telling us is if we don't act together in the next 7
will die.
or 8 years,
Thank God.
there will be irreversible damage done to this planet. We're talking about cities in America, from Miami to New Orleans to Charleston, South Carolina, being underwater. We are talking about severe droughts, which will prevent farmers in the West from growing the food that we need. We're talking about extreme weather disturbances, which hit Houston, Texas, Venice, Italy, just a few months ago. We are talking about the absolute need And I want to hear Joe's
I'm gonna
position on
see.
this.
Richie might
This
stop
is not a
by.
middle of the ground thing. This is not
Yo, this
building a
dude
few more
Robert
solar
wants
panels
Biden, I
or a
think,
few
bro.
more wind turbines. What this
He
is
does.
about is
If you want
transforming
Biden, bro, Trump's gonna win.
as quickly
Plain and
as we
simple.
humanly can away from fossil fuel.
Bernie
It is
has a
insane that we
chance.
can even have fracking in America. It is absurd.
Hang on. Oh, you said go away, Bernie. Hang
Yeah,
on,
you see what
dog.
I'm saying?
You want to
Yeah.
call in? We can have a discussion.
Cause
You
I'll
want to call
vote
in?
Trump if you want. No, fuck him. Fuck it.
State Department, excuse me, the
If
Defense
you want to
You can
Department.
call
call
in,
in
if
if you
he's
want.
calling in, fuck
If you
him.
want to debate, you can call in.
Yeah.
We can have a discussion.
Because as populations have
But yeah, Bernie,
live where they are,
Robert,
because their livelihoods are sinking, because
Biden ain't shit.
with the change
Biden isn't run on any policies. You gotta have people. You gotta make people vote for you. You gotta have policies for people to want to vote for you.
Number two,
Okay. Biden is a repeat of Hillary 2016. Okay.
the environment, particularly
We did our best for Hillary,
has nothing to do with him.
but
Fuck for
FBI
Africa.
investigations, she was shady as hell. Like she just wasn't a good candidate. Like I'm sorry.
Infestation and a whole range of things that are causing
That's just the
diseases as
truth.
well, in addition to eliminating foliage.
So, Vice President Biden, let me ask you then. You talk about this
Like
being
you want to talk about it?
They told you at the Pentagon.
We can talk
I don't
about it.
think
I'm
he
not.
wants
I
any.
can't. Yeah.
$1.7 trillion.
I can't guarantee we're going to be civil.
$14 trillion less
Oh, he
than
left
Senator Sanders
because he's a
wants to spend on this.
Fuck
he's a
outta
Is your
bitch.
plan ambitious enough to tackle this crisis?
Yes, it
He
is
was like,
ambitious.
whoa, what's going on?
Talk about Bernie. I was ready to grind his ass up.
I lay out the first 13
As soon as he got in here, I was ready to
Yeah,
like.
because if it comes down to it, it's like, alright, if Bernie loses, bro, it's Trump that's gonna win. So
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
not voting for Biden on some of that shit.
A lot of
I'll
people
vote
isn't
Trump.
voting for. A lot of people on the Democrat side already said they're not going to vote for Biden. Chess.
500,000
Well, shit,
charging stations in areas that, in fact, all new highways that we built, making sure
So
that
Democrats better be careful.
$500 billion a year
Like for
in
real.
the federal government paying for transportation.
They playing a dangerous game, electing another dickhead.
Being converted to
they are playing a dangerous game. This is the game that's being played to you on. It's chess, not checkers.
By having them move into a direction that is all carbon free. We can do these things.
Look at this dude. You don't even know what the fuck he's talking about, bro.
Changed by the next president or following president.
What Biden?
In addition to that, we also have to. I would immediately rejoin.
He doesn't even
Yeah, I
know
don't even know what the hell he's talking about.
Dude, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking
100
about.
major polluters
Right now.
to the United States in the first 100 days to up the
He's
ante.
saying, bro, why don't we run for fucking government, bro? Fuck out of here.
Might as well.
They say, oh, you can't have tattoos. Why the fuck not? Let's take a vote.
Brazil no longer to burn the
I'm
Amazon
allowed
so
to
that
have a fucking tattoo and run for fucking government. Fuck
forest
out of here.
and
I'll
say,
take shit in control and people will understand how it is to be civilized.
in one entire year per year.
Thank you, Mr. Vice
We
President.
do a better job than what we got right now.
Dude, you fucking... You heard what's happening in Philly, dude? People are getting arrested for killing people and they're getting off on some stupid shit, bro.
I said it. We have to act.
The second chance program or some shit.
This country around
There's
the world.
been 70
Climate
some
change
murders
exactly the same way.
compared to the last 4 years that had 50 murders between the same day.
Deal right
It's
now
crazy.
is, do we have the courage? This gets back to the point I'm trying to make all night long. Do we take on the healthcare industry and tell them their profits are not more important than healthcare for all? Do we take on the fossil fuel industry? Look, in terms of the fossil fuel industry, these guys have been lying.
Take on everybody.
They've been lying for years, like the tobacco industry.
Tobacco?
Oh, we don't know if fossil fuels, if oil and carbon emissions are causing climate change. They knew.
Bernie's speaking truth for real.
They lied. In fact, I think
agree.
they should be held criminally accountable. But this, Jake, is an issue of enormous consequence. What Joe was saying.
Hey, Guy W, welcome to the HOL show. Thanks for stopping by.
We have time to talk about this. This is a world-shaking event.
I understand. I just want to give him a chance to respond, and then we can come back.
Let's stay on.
We're staying on this issue.
Number one, no more subsidies for fossil fuel industry, no more drilling on federal lands, no more drilling, including offshore, no ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period. Ends, number one. Number two, we're in a situation as well where we cannot, we are able to move rapidly to change the dynamic in terms of what we can do to set in motion. The fact that he says climate change, Paris Accord doesn't mean much. We can get everything exactly right. We're 15% of the problem. 85% of the problem is over there. We need someone who can deal internationally. We need someone who can put it all together again. We need someone who can move in a direction that, in fact, if you follow the commitment you make.
This is what I mean. He keeps talking about doing stuff, and he's been vice president for 8 years.
They're exporting coal, significant coal.
Thank you. Look, obviously, the Paris Accord is useful, but it doesn't go anywhere. If you laugh at Joe, then you're missing the point. This is an existential crisis.
Bingo.
You talk about, I'm talking about stopping fracking as soon as we possibly can. I'm talking about telling the fossil fuel industry.
Who would you rather want? Somebody that's like, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. Let's keep everything the same as it was before, we had somebody who's a problem to them. Or do you want somebody that's like, hey, let's go further. We can do better.
And in this moment, making the point that instead of spending 1.8 trillion on weapons of destruction designed to kill each other, maybe we should pool our resources and fight our common enemy, which is climate change. I know your heart is in the right place, but this requires dramatic, bold action. We've got to take on the fossil fuel industry. Your plan does not do that.
My plan takes on the fossil fuel industry and it unites the world. He just be saying. What's he going to do? He's going to bring these countries together, make it clear to them. I'm saying we bring them together, make them live up to the commitments. If they don't live up to the commitments, they pay a financial price for it. They pay an economic price for it.
Are you going to take a break?
We can do everything.
I'm done with this shit, bro.
I don't need an election.
This shit is dead. If they can't see Bernie's the man, then what the fuck, man?
I understand.
South Carolina and the rest.
No problem.
Dick Lugar.
Thanks everybody for joining.